Hello everyone, I'm Nirvana Sparkle. Welcome back to Kadic Reviews. And yes, it's another video game. The only way that I can describe the subject of today's review is in one word. It is in the way that not only this game presents itself, not only in the way it executes itself, but also in the way that, quite frankly, it makes me feel defiant. The game in question is Doom 2016, also known to many as Doom 4, but let's be honest, a 4 is not needed here. In truth, it is the true successor to Doom 2. So in my eyes, it's Doom 3, not 4. Doom 3 was more of a survival horror game relying on tight corridor shooting, heavy lighting, and the id Tech 3 engine to drive a sense of dread. Instead, Doom returns back to the core tenets of what made, well, Doom Doom. The granddaddy of all first-person shooters. It may not be the first, not even for its sake, but it is, quite frankly, the most important. Without Doom, first-person shooters would have never become a popular thing on PC, which thus beget the fact that it's popular on consoles now. Almost too popular. And most shooters can't even hold a candle to their own major ranks like Battlefield or Call of Duty. But yet, Doom is defiant in its own way, plucking out modern gaming conventions like aim down the sights and rechargeable health, and short corridors and cover. In its place, it's fast-paced, frenetic, point and shoot, old school. Health packs on the map, armor for you to find, and every enemy just as deadly as the last, coming at you at an almost aimless, ferocious pace. The game runs at 60 frames a second without a single drop. And because your character doesn't have a traditional sprint and rather runs at full speed at all times, the game is meant to be played with a speed up. And that leads to the game's most talked about feature, the glory kills. Yes, these kills amplify the gore level of the game to almost scary levels. I was almost intimidated by the amount of sentient gore as imps rip and tear and bones break as you're ripping horns from one demon and jamming it into their throat, or seemingly through power-ups like Berserk, disemboweling them with your bare hands, or ripping them apart with your chainsaw for extra ammo. But these glory kills, and chainsaw kills for that matter, are meant to keep the pace up, fast and furious. They're often your only way to survive these big hordes of enemies, and it's a brilliant design choice. Promoting speed, but yet precision. Precision with the satisfaction of a job well done or a kill in the clutch. The weapons are classic Doom fare, from the shotgun and super shotgun to the plasma gun to even the assault rifle, and yes, the aforementioned chainsaw, and yes, the granddaddy of all mega weapons, the BFG returns, eviscerating entire enemies with a single shot, almost making you the most intimidating force on the battlefield once you attain it. but its limited amount of shots means you don't get to go glory happy. And trust me, you won't want to waste a bullet, seeing that the AI, even on its easiest difficulty, which I played it on, is still ferocious, relentless, and can kill you with ease. Shots actually hurt. You may be a badass, but you ain't that much of a badass. Hell, even at the time of this review, I'm yet to complete the game. Why? Because the levels are long labyrinth-style mazes filled with endless amounts of secret rooms, pickups, and the aforementioned super weapons adorn the levels. You'll spend minutes upon hours just combing every level for every reference, Easter egg, hidden Doom rooms, which allow you to even play the classic 2 Doom games with the modern monsters attached if you can unlock them all. Plus the countless upgrades like Argent Cells that upgrade Doom Guy's immense power. Predator tokens that give you armor and special abilities like, and so finding those aforementioned secrets through a buzzing radar, but also finding the many collectible Doom Guy dolls that have a fun attachment of their own. Finding everything in the main campaign mode will take your time away, and you won't even see most of it going because you'll have too much fun running and gunning and almost Metroid-like going through the levels. Luckily, if you miss something, going back in the mission select and going to a previous mission doesn't hamper your campaign progress. So, it's a good tool to use YouTube guides if you're not one for figuring it out yourself, or you just want to save some time. Trust me, that's what I did. But on top of the most visceral combat I've ever seen in a first-person shooter comes the many forms of platforming that oddly this game takes. You have a jump and a double jump, and some of the jumps, especially to get those aforementioned secrets, are tough and take precise timing and position, or else you'll be rewinding back to a checkpoint, and the checkpoints are not generous. They're often after huge combat sections by the use of gore nest. The gore nest are where the music can amplify and astound. The music composer for Doom 4 happens to be Mick Gordon, and if that name rings a bell, it should. He did the music for Wolfenstein, the new and old Bloods, but most notably did the music for Season 1 and Season 2 of the newly resurrected Killer Instinct. And he brings his subtle yet growing style from that game directly into Doom, remixing classic Doom tracks in a dark, satanic, techno manner with a 9-string guitar to match. It almost sounds like hell is talking to you through a symphonic symphony of blood, guts, and pain. Gore litters the walls as the bodies of the dead lay strewn before you. You truly feel a sense of power and violence in the campaign, and it is so satisfying. Playing it more than once on harder difficulties, at least to me, is an absolute must, and the campaign alone is worth the money. But trust me, that's not all this game holds. It is, as I said in the beginning, defiant, and it's a beautiful defiant. It's the best game that id Software has made to date, in a true return to form in terms of first-person shooter campaigns. If you love your campaigns old school and ferocious, Doom is an absolute winner, even with modern conventions like weapon modifications, which again improve the power and pace of the game. These weapon modifications are not to be missed, and weapon modifications as mini missiles, charged or explosive shots for your shotgun, and even stuns for your plasma rifle are welcome additions to the game's already brutal arsenal. But that's not all the game holds, no. It also has a multiplayer component. Taking components from what made Doom Multiplayer and Doom 2 such a classic, but more leaning towards the terms of Unreal, Real, and Quake before it, Doom's multiplayer maps are as fast and frenetic as the single player's mega battles. These are close, intimate matches with not that many high points. Mostly every weapon in the game is unlocked to you seemingly from the start. But the multiplayer isn't perfect. Its multiplayer modes are standard in any Call of Duty, just given that Doom spin. Like Soul Harvest is essentially kill confirmed. You have your Domination and your King of the Hill type modes. But you also have a form of a mode called Freeze Tag that is unique. But none of them really stand out in the suite. And the maps are ripped directly from the campaign and show their sign often. The biggest addition to it is the fact that you can now play temporarily as one of the demons in multiplayer. But I can see that feature going by fast and getting old fast. In fact, there aren't that many maps either. Connecting to a match might be easy, but finding unique teams can be hard. Considering that most people will just play the standard team deathmatch and leave it at that. Customization options are numerous. Through customizable weapon skins and armor as well as different loadouts. This is where the game echoes more modern shooters, and even in its progression system. Although the way the game plays may be classic Doom, the multiplayer may have too many modern concessions to stand out outside of its campaign mode. Also, on top of the multiplayer offerings is Snap Map. This is its version of Forge. It's simple, not too complex, and easy to use. There's even a very detailed tutorial that will teach you the means of making a map. And there are plenty of other custom maps already on the server with their custom gameplay styles. It may not be as deep as Forge, but for its ease of use and excellent tutorial, I would highly recommend it just the same, although it may not have the staying power alongside the multiplayer. Although I wouldn't suggest this game for $60 in no way, I would more suggest it as a Black Friday $40 to $30 deal. For the campaign alone, Doom is a game that cannot be missed. The campaign is refreshing, reformant, and new. Although the game doesn't care about its story, it has a rather interesting one But trust me, the only reason I haven't brought it up here is it's really not the reason to play this game. This is truly old school, selecting gameplay over substance. And even in the few cutscenes it has a defiant, get out of my way attitude. Just like your main character does. And that's why the best word to describe this game and the best recommendation I can give for us old school gamers, or for even the younger set looking for something more defiant and against the norm, Doom is perfect. This is a return to form for a series that needed to go back to its roots. Out of the fires of hell resurrects a phoenix. It's just too bad other shooters will be almost afraid to follow in its wake. It's not perfect because of some modern concessions in the multiplayer, or its lack of future functionality through Snap Map, but its campaign is nothing short than a must-play experience. Get your best console you can buy, get a pair of earphones, and strap in. It's worth the ride. An 8 out of 10. Until next time, I'm Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own nirvana and slay demons by the truckload.